I didn't mean to walk that far. Cities are built to stop you long before their edges. Traffic lights, fences, warning signs, the subtle pressure of schedules and obligations. But that afternoon, something loosened its grip on me. I kept walking past the last cafe, the final bus stop, the cracked billboard that still advertised a concert from 10 years ago. The air changed first. It smelled wetter, older. Like soil that remembered rain. Concrete thinned beneath my shoes, breaking into slabs veined with moss. Grass pushed through as if it had learned patience from years of being ignored. I realized then that the city hadn't ended suddenly. It had softened. Given up in stages. I'd grown up here. Or close enough to believe I knew this place. But I had never seen it like this, quiet without being empty. Alive without asking permission. A vine climbed a traffic signal pole, wrapping the red light so completely it looked embarrassed to still exist. Windows were dark, not broken, just abandoned, like eyes closed mid-thought. Somewhere above me, a bird cried out, sharp and certain. I felt like a trespasser. Or maybe a witness. I stepped into a street that no longer deserved the name. The painted lines were almost gone, eaten by weeds and time. A tree grew straight out of what used to be the fast lane, its roots cracking asphalt the way ice breaks stone, slow, unstoppable. This was where the grid ended. And something else began. I followed the tree's shadow deeper in, drawn by a curiosity that felt older than logic. The buildings leaned closer together here, as if trying to share warmth. Ivy spilled from rooftops. Rusted fire escapes became trellises for green life that had no memory of rent or ownership. I found a playground. Or what remained of one. The swing set stood crooked, chains tangled in vines. A slide sagged under the weight of years, its metal dulled by rain and leaf stains. Flowers bloomed where children once ran, bright and shameless. The silence was so complete I could hear my own breathing echo inside me. I sat on a bench half swallowed by roots and wondered how long this had been happening. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just steadily, while everyone looked away. Nature hadn't arrived like an invasion. It had waited. Observed. Taken notes. And when the city stopped maintaining itself, stopped caring, stopped listening, nature stepped back and I brushed my fingers along bark that had grown over a street sign. The word beneath was unreadable now. Maybe that was the point. I thought about how much of my life felt the same way, layers of expectation paved over something softer, truer. Waiting for cracks, the wind moved through leaves like a breath being released, and for the first time in a long while I stayed. I returned the next day. And the next, each visit pulled me further in, as if the place was testing my seriousness. The deeper I walked, the less the city pretended to function. Cars sat where they'd been left, tires melted into earth, interiors filled with nests and seed husks. License plates were unreadable, peeled by time and rain. A fox crossed the street in front of me once, stopping just long enough to meet my eyes. No fear. No challenge. Just acknowledgement. Then it vanished into tall grass growing from a collapsed parking garage. I began to notice patterns. How water flowed where streets dipped. How plants chose corners where shade and moisture lingered. How buildings failed first at their seams, windows, doors, places meant for passage. Nature didn't tear things down. It unstitched them. I brought a notebook and started sketching, writing fragments. Not plans. Not maps. Observations. The way the sun caught leaves growing through shattered glass. The way silence here felt layered, not empty. I wondered how many people had been here before me. How many had noticed and said nothing. Or noticed and felt afraid, but I didn't feel afraid. I felt like I had arrived somewhere honest. There was a building I kept circling without entering. A library once. Its sign lay face down in ivy, but the stone steps still held their shape, worn smooth by feet that no longer came. When I finally stepped inside, the smell hit me first: paper, damp, mold, earth. Books lay scattered like fallen birds. Shelves had collapsed under their own patience. Mushrooms grew between pages, delicate and pale. I picked up a book carefully. Its cover disintegrated in my hands, but the text inside remained, stubborn. Words printed decades ago, still readable, still trying. I sat among them and felt something twist in my chest. All this knowledge. All these stories. Not destroyed. Just returned. Roots ran through the floor, cracking tiles, lifting shelves. The building was becoming soil. And somehow, it felt right. I realized then that decay wasn't an ending. It was a translation. The city was being rewritten in another language, one of growth instead of control, and I was learning how to read it. Rain came suddenly that week. Hard, heavy, unapologetic. I stood beneath a collapsed awning and watched water reclaim old paths, gutters, drains, streets, turning them back into streams. The city remembered where water used to go. And water remembered how to listen. Birdsong grew louder after the storm. Plants straightened, brightened. Everything responded. I thought about how the city had once forced itself into rigid lines, ignoring the land beneath it. And how the land had waited, quietly keeping record. Nothing here felt rushed. Nature didn't need permission. It didn't need applause. It just needed time, and time, it seemed, was finally available. I started bringing less with me. No phone. No watch. Just myself. The place taught me how to move differently, slowly, attentively. Where to step. Where not to. I learned which sounds meant life and which meant collapse. Once, I found a wall covered in handprints. Old ones. Faded. Painted, pressed, forgotten. Leaves grew through them now, blurring edges. I placed my hand beside one. It didn't match, but it fit. I slept there one night. Not inside, under the open sky where buildings had fallen away completely. The stars felt closer without streetlights pretending to compete. Insects hummed. Wind moved grass in waves. I dreamed of cities breathing. Of concrete cracking gently, like knuckles relaxing after a long grip. Of roots learning maps from forgotten blueprints. When I woke, dew soaked my clothes and the sun filtered through leaves where billboards once stood. I didn't feel like leaving. People eventually noticed. Not many. Just enough. Photographers. Explorers. Curious minds with heavy boots and louder voices. They came looking for ruins, for spectacle. They didn't see what I saw. They asked, "What happened here?" I never answered, because nothing had happened. Something was still happening. The city beyond the edge continued, loud and urgent. But I felt its pull weakening. I understood now that the wild wasn't elsewhere. It wasn't outside civilization. It was beneath it. Around it. Waiting. This place wasn't a warning. It was a reminder. Nature doesn't need saving. It needs space. I walk there less often now. Not because it's gone, but because it doesn't need watching. The vines keep climbing. The trees keep cracking stone. Birds keep nesting in places once filled with meetings and deadlines. The city ended quietly. The wild began the same way, and somewhere between the two, I learned how to listen again.